The stars had always been her sanctuary, a silent expanse where Captain Alara Voss felt in control, untouchable. But as the Aurora's wake sailed through the shimmering nebula, even the void seemed to conspire against her. The sensors blinked erratically, and the normally serene swirls of cosmic dust churned as if stirred by some unseen hand. Alara's instinct screamed that something was wrong. "Captain, I'm reading fluctuations in the grav field ahead," Lieutenant Wren said, voice tight over the comm. "It's anomalous, never seen anything like it." Alara gripped the console, eyes scanning the holographic display. The nebula ahead rippled and twisted in impossible patterns, gravitational waves bending light and space. Her sister, Lyra, was nearby, checking the containment pods housing experimental tech. Lyra always had that fearless curiosity, the same trait that had both inspired and worried Alara. "Alara, the containment pod is unstable." Lyra's voice came through the intercom, urgent and clipped. "We're going to lose it if—" A violent surge tore through the ship. Alarms shrieked as the hull groaned, systems failing in rapid succession. The Aurora's wake lurched violently, throwing crew members across the cabin. Lyra rushed to secure the pod, but the ship's corridor rippled like liquid metal. Alara reached for her sister, but the space around them warped, bending sight and motion. "Lyra, no!" Alara screamed, her hands stretching through empty space. The containment pod slipped from Lyra's grasp, tumbling toward the breach in the hull. She lunged after it, but the gravitational anomaly pulled her away, stretching her image into a ghostly blur before she disappeared into the void. Silence followed, oppressive and absolute, broken only by the alarms slowly dying. Alara's chest heaved, disbelief and horror warring within her. The crew scrambled to stabilize the systems, and for a tense moment, the ship floated in the still nebula, broken but intact. Yet the sensors now revealed something that made her stomach turn, a faint energy signature trailing the debris, pulsing deliberately, as if alive. Her fingers hovered over the console. That energy was no random anomaly, it moved with intent. And somewhere within it, Alara sensed, Lyra might still exist. "Prepare the subprobes," she whispered, voice low but determined. "We're not leaving her behind, not if I can help it." The stars outside seemed to wait, silent witnesses to a promise that had already begun to sink with the ship. The Aurora's wake drifted through the nebula, its damaged hull groaning under the strain, while the faint energy signature trailed them like a predator in the dark. Alara's hands were steady on the controls, but her mind raced. Every scan, every ping, every fluctuation in the readings seemed to whisper her sister's name. Lyra was out there, somewhere, tethered to that strange pulse. "Captain, the signature is reacting to us," Lieutenant Wren said, voice tight. "Every time we change course, it mirrors our movement. It's intelligent." Alara's jaw tightened. "Not intelligent, deliberate. It's waiting, testing us." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Already tension had begun to fray nerves. The silence of the nebula weighed on them, pressing against their thoughts, distorting time. Shadows flickered across the walls, faint glimpses of forms that weren't there. And then the voices began. Soft, distant, almost familiar. "Alara," a whisper echoed through the cabin, though the comms were silent. She froze. It was her sister's voice, impossibly clear, calling to her across the void. "Stay focused," she barked, though her own heart thudded in disbelief. "It's using her, using our memories." The energy signature pulsed stronger, brightening intermittently in erratic waves. Sensors showed anomalies around it, gravity distortions, spatial folds, and localized time dilation. Crew members swayed as though caught in a tide they could not see. Mira, monitoring. The subprobe feeds gasped. "Captain, I think it's showing us her, Lyra, or a fragment of her consciousness." Alara leaned closer, eyes scanning the flickering patterns. The signature wasn't just a presence. It was a repository of memory and emotion, responding to every thought and movement on the ship. Every flicker of hope, fear, and grief was absorbed and reflected back in strange, twisted visions. Her resolve hardened. "We're going after it," she said. "Whatever this is, Lyra is still in there. We find her, or we die trying." As the sub-probes moved closer to the pulsating energy, the nebula shimmered and split, revealing a rippling tear in space itself. A rift that bent light and reality. It was beautiful, terrifying, and otherworldly. Through it, the signature beckoned, holding Lyra within its strange alien grasp. Alara's voice was barely a whisper. "Ain." Mira's voice was tight, trembling. "The crew, they're seeing things." Memories, regrets, things that aren't theirs. Some of them are frozen in place, staring at nothing. Ilara's jaw clenched. We focus on Lyra. Nothing else matters, not now. The entity pulsed violently, and a voice, though not spoken, filled Ilara's mind. Give yourself. Merge. Restore what was lost. All can be yours. Every instinct screamed that surrender would guarantee Lyra's restoration, but at the cost of her own identity. Every fiber of her being rebelled, warning her that to merge would mean becoming something other, something the human mind could never fully control. Ilara, Lyra's voice echoed softly in her thoughts. I can feel you, but I'm not me. Don't lose yourself. Ilara's resolve hardened. I won't let you disappear, she whispered. With precise maneuvers, she guided the ship closer, dodging twisting currents of distorted space, countering the rift's manipulations. She reached for Lyra, using the ship's manipulator arms to disrupt the energy field just enough to create a tether. The rift screamed in pulses, waves of force threatening to tear the sub apart, yet Ilara pressed on. The crew anchored themselves, holding tight to reality and each other, resisting hallucinations, phantoms, and echoes of forgotten regrets. A final surge of energy struck the Aurora's wake, and then silence. Lyra collapsed into Ilara's arms, human again, though pale and trembling. The alien energy receded, retreating into the heart of the rift, which shimmered and then sealed like a wound in the nebula. Hours later, the ship broke through the nebula's edge. Stars glimmered normally again, the universe calm and indifferent. The crew had survived, but each bore the marks of the rift, the memories, the visions, the knowledge that some promises reach beyond life itself. Ilara held Lyra's hand, trembling, knowing that the bond between them had been tested, fractured, and reforged. The rift remained, patient, eternal, and waiting. And Ilara understood a truth she could never forget. Some promises are kept only at the edge of the impossible, where love and sacrifice meet the infinite.